When I left Christianity and fundamentalist religion and churches, I realized that because of family and friends' religion, mainly Christianity, families and friends are more likely to ostracize, ridicule, or disown a member of a family or a friend if you vote contrary to the expected family political stance. I have seen spouses divorce over political differences. I have seen families being torn apart by things like MAGA or George Bush or Obama. I have seen families who should have been either united or tolerant among each other. People get extremely political, very polarized in this country. And I'm not saying it's wrong to cut off family members who vote in a way that harms America or they support a pedophile like Trump. I will never say that is wrong. I'm talking about disowning, punishing, ignoring, and ghosting people who vote according to their political and religious or non-religious beliefs, and their vote does not hurt anyone. It really doesn't. Now, luckily, my ultra-conservative fundamentalist Christian family of 11 members, they didn't vote for Trump. But they believe in everything that the Christian, maybe MAGA group does. My family believes that women shouldn't have the right to vote, which astounds me in the 21st century. Voting is only important if it's the way you want to express your beliefs. Personally, I prefer protesting than voting. The issue is, I would never date someone whose political, religious, and social beliefs view women as inferior, look at gays and trans people like they're disease, and view lesser races, and I'm using the terms that racist people would say, that anyone who isn't white and male is a lesser group of people, which is utter BS, by the way. I wouldn't want to date people like that, because those people stand for things that are harmful to 90% of people outside of white supremacist groups. I don't want to be friends with people or date, marry, or be associated with anyone that views gay people as a disease or women as lesser than. Or that everyone based on your gender and ethnicity has a place below everyone else, which is complete BS. I want to live in a world and be surrounded by people I've selected as being moral, people whose views don't hurt groups that I ally for. And yeah, if my family had voted for Trump, I would want nothing to do with them. Why? Who you spend time with, what you support, says more about you than anything that would come out of your mouth. It's kind of like people who stand near Trump or have pictures taken of themselves standing next to people like Vance or Epstein. I don't care what comes out of their mouth. We have photo evidence that they saw nothing wrong standing next to certain people of dubious and criminal behavior. That's enough for me to want nothing to do with these people. Anyone who supports Trump is saying it's okay to be a felon and a pedophile. And I want nothing to do with those people. And if I had kids, nieces and nephews around, wouldn't want those people near my kids. Because if you find nothing wrong with supporting a pedophile, supporting someone who was friends with the worst sex human trafficker in the 20th century, you are a danger. You will think nothing of it covering up any form of abuse. I want nothing to do with you. If for some reason you wake up and realize that being a Republican, supporting awful groups of politicians is something you no longer want to be a part of, and that you made the worst mistake of your life voting for Trump and become a Democrat or become a liberal, then we as the liberal group will welcome you with open arms. But until that happens, anyone who supports predators is not someone I want at my dinner table, let alone my porch. The only thing worse than criminals are the people who support, protect, defend, and excuse and enable their behavior. And anyone who supports the presidential administration right now is enabling child abuse. You're enabling a felon. I mean, anybody of any moral character, whether or not they have the experience, would be better for the presidency than Trump is. Trump is a symbol of the worst parts of America. The parts, hopefully in the next 100 years, we completely eradicate. Voting is only one way to be a good citizen. As long as you get out there and protest or write books, hold meetings, attend events that help push positive force out there, to get education, quality education, teaching people about all kinds of history and ethnicities and orientations. That's one of the best ways to get the truth out there without even having to vote. So no, you're not un-American or less patriotic because you dare not to vote. And if your family has a problem with you not voting, that says a lot about them. I'm starting to vote again because I don't really have any opportunity in the place I live to do much protesting, because the small town I live in Alaska just doesn't do protesting. Well, there was that Charlie Kirk protest in favor of him a few months ago. That was gross. But we're not like LA or Seattle. We don't get out there and protest. We have 10,000 people here. And there's just better ways than voting to do things right now. But if anyone gives you shit for not voting or voting wrong, the only way to vote wrong is to purposely and knowingly choose a bad person who is a white supremacist, a racist, a sexist pig, a xenophobic person, a homophobic and transphobic person. If you knowingly and understand what you're voting for and you still vote for awful people like that, that's the only way you can vote wrong. But beyond that, voting is a privilege, but it shouldn't be an expectation. It's not mandatory. It's not like going to church in some countries where if you don't, then you get in big trouble. But if you want to vote, you have the opportunity and you can get there, go for it. But if it's not something you want to do, find a different way to express your opinion. And if anybody gives you shit for not voting the way they want you to or to vote at all, I just flip them off. That's how I do it. I don't give answer to anybody about what I do with my own rights. As long as I'm not hurting anybody or taking away anyone's rights and privileges, I can live the way I want. And fuck anyone who says anything else.